Wireless Hartmann, born in 1861 and dead of pneumonia in 1919, ran the Verrall Phonograph Company, a small mail order concern that recorded and sold wax cylinders from a single room above a stationer's between 1901 and 1914. The company's catalogue ran to a few hundred titles, sacred songs, recitations, light orchestral pieces, instructional cylinders for the home phonograph. Hartmann recorded most of it himself on a single machine. King David's Melody, issued around 1906, was one of the company's sacred sets, a boxed sequence of 10 cylinders of psalms and devotional recitations sold by post in a printed cardboard case. It was neither a success nor a failure. It sold in the low hundreds and was discontinued with the rest of the catalogue when the company closed. The set sits unremarkably among the Verrall sacred offerings. Surviving copies turn up in house clearances and at collectors' fairs, valued modestly, of interest mainly to specialists in early mail order recording. The title is biblical and not unusual for the period. Devotional phonograph material returned often to the Psalms, and the set was understood, then and for a long time after, as exactly what it appeared to be. The discovery of the Anomaly dates to the winter of 1987. A collector of early sacred recordings, named Albrecht Voss, then 61, was transferring a complete Verrall set to tape when he found, beneath the 10 listed cylinders in the box, an 11th, unlabelled and absent from the printed contents. He played it, expecting a duplicate or a blank. What he heard was the first attack of a 10-string lyre. The recording lasted 2 minutes and 11 seconds and ended without resolution. Voss made a take copy, wrote to 2 correspondents the following week, and within a few months a small exchange had developed among collectors in 3 countries comparing sets. By the spring of 1989 it had been established that some sets contained an additional unlisted cylinder beyond the 10 listed in the box, and that the recording on each such cylinder was different. Ordinary sets and the anomalous sets differ in a single detail. An ordinary set contains 10 cylinders, matching the printed contents on the box lid. An anomalous set contains 11, a final cylinder, unmarked in the company's catalogue, bearing only a pencilled number in a hand that does not match Hartmann's known inscriptions. The company's recording ledgers do not survive Wallman. They were destroyed when the premises were cleared after Hartmann's death. The single trade notice that mentions the set, the 1907 dealer's circular, lists 10 cylinders and no more. A working census of the anomalous cylinders has been maintained since 1994 by the discographer and recorded sound historian Margaret Holley, attached to the Call to Sound archive. Her census, updated irregularly, lists 83 confirmed sets as of last revision. Each entry assigns a set number, the length of the unlisted cylinder, a category harp, sung, spoken, or oblique, and a brief description. Catalogued recordings fall into 4 kinds. The first, and by far the most common, is the harp. Of the 83 confirmed sets, 41 carry harp recordings. They are believed to be performances on a 10-stringed instrument, consistent in tuning and resonance with reconstructions of the Neville, the lyre referred to in the 33rd Psalm. Praise him with the harp, sing unto him with an instrument of 10 strings. The instrument is built around a wooden box resonator and gut strings. Historians of ancient music working with the cylinders have compared them to the reconstructions made at the conservatory in the early decades of the century. The recordings show consistent technique, a thumb and forefinger plucking pattern, occasional damping with the heel of the hand, and consistent voicing in modes that map approximately to what later theory calls Phrygian and Dorian. Wet Tef 12. 2 minutes 9 seconds, harp solo. Phrygian mode, even cadence, an audible wood creak before the first note. The wax is clean. Faint room reverberation suggests a small enclosed space, perhaps 4 or 5 metres across. Sec 38. 2 minutes 14 seconds, harp duet. 2 instruments of the same family in close harmony, the second fractionally lower in pitch. Haller notes the irregularity. The biblical accounts do not describe David playing with a second harpist, and no consensus exists about the second player. Way 3 2 minutes 8 seconds, harp fragmentary. The recording begins mid-phrase, the tuning is unstable through the first 30 seconds, and the performance ends abruptly. The wax is the most worn of the catalogued harp cylinders. Some collectors consider it incomplete and have argued that set 47 belongs under oblique rather than harp. Waf. The second kind is the voice. 19 of the 83 carry sung recordings. The singer is presumed to be David on the basis of vocal consistency with the spoken cylinders and the set's attribution. The songs are in dialects of Biblical Hebrew that no living scholar reads fluently. Recordings have been transcribed phonetically by the philologist Henrik Liebermann and circulated among scholars of Paleo Hebrew. Identifications remain partial. 3 have been tentatively matched to received psalms. The remainder are not in the received text and may be lost compositions or improvisations. WAP 19. 2 minutes 2 seconds. Sung. Identified by Liebermann as a possible early variant of the 22nd Psalm. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? The voice is unaccompanied. The first 2 verses align with the received text. The third diverges substantially. Forfait 71. 2 minutes 15 seconds. Sung. Unidentified and the longest of the catalogued recordings, running to the very limit of what a cylinder can hold. The performance includes held tones, melismatic passages, and what Liebermann has called breath patterns, inconsistent with continuous performance. What? The third kind is speech. 14 of the sets carry spoken recordings. The speech is in Biblical Hebrew. Some passages are direct quotation from the received text, others are not. The recordings include addresses, prayers, and private speech in a domestic register. 1 minute 54 seconds. Speech, identified by some scholars as a possible version of the lament for Absalom. O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for thee. The phrasing differs from the received text in ways consistent with oral variation. Liebermann considers the identification probable. The biblical scholar Eliashile considered it unlikely. What the set 56. 34 seconds. Speech brief. A single sentence directed at an unspecified listener, the tone urgent and low. The translation circulated in Holly's census is provisional. Tell him I will not. It is unclear whom David is addressing or what is being refused. The fourth kind resists category. 9 of the sets carry recordings categorized as oblique. These include ambient cylinders in which David is identifiable only by the penciled attribution, recordings in which the speaker or musician cannot be conclusively identified, and recordings disputed in the literature. The set 81, 2 minutes 12 seconds. Ambient. The cylinder captures the sounds of a stone-walled room. Water poured into a basin. Footsteps, the creak of furniture, occasional breathing, a brief murmur of voices in the middle distance. No identifiable speech or music. Attribution to David is contested. Holly includes it on the basis of the penciled number. The Calder archive lists it as unverified. Commia of the 83 confirmed sets, 6 are held in institutions. The Calder Sound Archive holds 3. The Institute for Recorded Sound holds 2. A university library holds 1, donated by the estate of a collector. The remaining sets are in private hands. Of those, most are with collectors known to Holly, and a number have been reported in correspondence but not located by her with certainty. Audit proceeds slowly. Most owners of confirmed sets have been willing to share transfers. A few have declined. The cataloguing of a new set takes between 2 months and 2 years, depending on the cooperation of the owner and the condition of the wax. Holly has indicated that she does not expect the census to be complete in her lifetime. One larger question hangs over it. Hartmann's recording ledgers do not survive. Estimates of the edition size range from perhaps 100 sets to several hundred, extrapolated from the rate of new discoveries and from the company's known mail order reach. If the higher estimate holds, well over half of the recordings remain unheard. A related question hangs over the owners of ordinary sets who have never played to the end. The difference between an ordinary and an anomalous set is a single additional cylinder. Most owners do not know which they have. Holly has not, as a matter of practice, written to owners of unexamined sets to ask them to count their cylinders. The 10 listed cylinders of King David's Melody have been transferred and circulate among collectors of early sacred recording. The unlisted cylinders have never been published. No transfer of them circulates in the ordinary way. The catalogued recordings are held by Holle and a small number of co operating researchers and are not made available outside archival channels. The recordings circulate in practice only as physical objects, where the Verrall Phonograph Company has been closed for more than a century. Its premises are gone, its ledgers destroyed, its proprietor dead since 1919, the company wound up not long after. The ordinary sets remain in the hands of collectors. An ordinary set holds 10 cylinders, an anomalous set holds 11 sets, the number of sets holding the 11th cylinder, and the number of unique recordings of King David playing his lyre, singing in unknown dialects, singing to unknown listeners, or simply present in stone rooms that those cylinders contain, has never been confirmed.